Okay, so this is part two of these videos tonight. This is part two. Yeah, I got to the half-hour point, and yeah, I don't know. No, I do apologize if this is a bit rambly, but such as I do apologize, but at the same time I don't. No, I made a point earlier. I was trying to make a point that first off, there's a lot of things that we don't fully understand, and we actually really can't understand until we have a totally different kind of existence and different way of understanding everything. It's not possible to know in this life when the beginning of the universe, or first the beginning of everything was, and including our own souls. Where's the beginning and where's the end of all this stuff? It's just not. It's not possible. I mean, and someone's going to say, "Oh, I know the answer. I know the answer to this," and they'll be trying to help me out with this, and they'll say, "The answer to the beginning of the universe, right? It's the Big Bang. The Big Bang is when everything started, and it was just caused either by itself or by God. We don't know. But, for who knows how long, everything was just wrapped up in this little teeny speck of infinite level of density of matter. And then all of a sudden, boom, everything started flying apart at unheard of speeds, unthinkable speeds. And it's just been happening ever since. Our universe is beyond anyone's wildest comprehension how big it is. And we keep trying to watch videos about it so we can try to understand it better. And I often feel, by the way, with regard to astronomy, that it's just a little bit like, it's kind of like you're just kind of inching up this ladder that is kind of, I don't know if it's steep or not, but it's just, for some reason, maybe you're just, or actually better analogy would be like, you're trying to eat a very hard to get to nut. A nut that is very tasty, but doesn't really have much in the way of, well, it's just very hard. It's hard in your teeth. The shell is crazy hard to get out. It's like Brazil nut mixed with walnut shell or something. I don't know. It's whatever it is. It's a pain, but it's worth it because the taste is good. And that's a little bit. Actually, I don't know if that's still the best analogy, but I feel like I just, no matter with astronomy at least, no matter how much I try to understand things better, I don't feel like I really ever get past much in the way of studying astronomy in classes. Even though I can tell you that. Well, what is it? There's this nebula that has some green in it. Is it the Orion Nebula? And something about it's where heaven might exist. The throne of God. I saw a video about it. I don't know. Whatever. There's all the planets in the solar system. There's Andromeda. There's some planets that exist that might have life of some sort, but maybe not, And so there are planets. There's a planet that has been discovered that is really close to us that, I don't know. All these different directions. There's Booty's Void that doesn't have anything that we can say is anything, anything really. So, and I really think that name is going to be teased, joked about for as long as it can possibly be joked about. And there's all these things, about black holes and, or black holes, gateways to other universes and all this stuff. Actually, that's another question. Is there more than one universe? And, is it something where, like, in Men in Black, you have these marbles that are being knocked around by gigantic, enormous aliens that are playing with them? We're all just in a marble, or is it something that just keeps going for forever, black space? Or, you get to another universe by going through a black hole, and how does it all work? And these, I don't know. And you can kind of bend space-time. I don't know. It's, yeah, I've been told that I shouldn't mix religious ideas about the universe with scientific ideas, because scientific ideas are proven and factual, and religious ideas are not. Right? Well, I wish I could say it was that easy to do that kind of thing. Because the desire to research astronomy, I think, comes from essentially I would use the word spiritual, or, spiritual motivation, or an idea, a desire to understand things, simply for the desire just to understand things. To understand, and I do see that as a very spiritual thing. The desire to understand the world around us, including what's outside of the world, is a very good thing, a very positive thing. Well, you just, when you get philosophical about it, maybe a little bit, why would we not want to understand what's outside the world or what's in the world? And, that's one of the major complaints that people have had about religion. I don't know, maybe not my religion, but, I don't know. It's just this kind of, nope, everything that we need to know is in the Bible. Bible. That's all we need to know. Everything else, we don't know. No. It's really stupid, right? It's a really dumb thing to think that way. Who thinks that? Honestly, who thinks that way? It's just, so I very, very much understand the sentiment against that way of thinking. And sympathize with it. I don't think God ever intended us only to read the Bible. That's ridiculous. But again, mixing religious ideas and scientific ideas in the same thing. I think it's, religion has to do with space. If you're talking about God, we know that God isn't right next to me. Someone says God is in all of us. God is everywhere. No, come on. No, God is an entity. He has a being. He's not everywhere and in everything. It's just kind of a, I don't know. No, it's a being. That is a fundamental belief of mine. It's totally okay if you don't believe that, by the way, of course. But that's just what I believe. And so, because I believe he's not here on Earth, he has to be out there somewhere. Okay. So yeah, maybe it's just I can't do that because my religion, my religious worldview, my worldview of everything forbids it. It's like science and religion both doing the same stuff, right? So anybody that has a real problem with that has a problem with my religion. And at that point, I'm like, oh, okay, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry, but not sorry. But no, I don't want it. Don't like people to get upset. No one wants to get upset. It's just my religion. I believe God is out there somewhere. I don't know where. We all want to find him. It was been, Star Trek. We had the Star Trek movie where there's that search for God, right? Oh, do you think? Yeah, I was about to say search for Spock, right? No, they're out in the space. I think they got some kind of. Oh, this is. It was a movie where you had some brother. It was a brother of Spock or something. The brother of Spock had embraced his emotions, and I guess this is a very Star Trek sort of train of thought. Logic versus emotion, right? You should strive to be more logical, Captain, right? Strive to be free from these emotions that make you very not logical. and Spock's brother is this kind of really super animated, emotional, we'll say zealous looking guy in a robe, very religious, this connection between religion and emotion, right? It's okay, it's all good. But he's talking about how we need to visit this planet and something. I don't know. They'll invite us there. That's where God supposedly lives. So Captain Kirk says, "Okay, let's go visit God." And so they, if you guys haven't seen this movie, sorry, this is kind of spoiler stuff. But I'm assuming that you guys have probably seen this or heard of this at some point. It's been out for a while. It's not exactly the latest Star Wars credit movie. Anyway, think of something that's it's not Ready Player One. It's been out for a long time. So, but if you don't want to hear how this goes, you can stop the video and go watch it. So they go to this planet, and there are these beings that start talking to them telepathically or something. I don't know. They want them to, do something. I can't remember what it was, but whatever it was, it sounded like something that God wouldn't necessarily want. Or it sounded like something that was kind of fickle or just not very godly. Like, bring us stuff. We want stuff, And so something happened where they got upset. These supposedly gods got upset with, the Enterprise guys. And there's a little bit pandemonium, a little bit of war. Somehow, the Enterprise guys knocked down their pillars and kind of, took care of them and got out of there and said, that's probably not God, right? That's kind of train of thought there. But, here's the funny thing about all that. And I know that they love this movie. I'm sure they love making this movie. I know that, William Shatner and all those guys just loved this theme. Because it's something that we all want. We all want to find heaven. We all want to find God. Hey, I mean, at the very least, just know that it exists. You can say, oh, that actually exists. Some people, I think, actually more interested in God rather than heaven. But however you picture, this all to work out, I think a lot of people are interested in this kind of stuff. So, okay, so there's the first question is, were those beings ever gods in the first place or not? It's unlikely, but we really don't know for sure, right? Maybe they were originally gods, or they were cast down by some greater gods to become lesser gods, and then became not happy with their situation and just started to turn into these punks that harassed people that thought they were gods or something. All right, these old whatever jerks and things. So, maybe these beings were aliens. They're just pretending to be gods. Maybe those beings were demons, something evil, right? Kind of like deity, but not like the adversary. Maybe these beings were. I don't think they didn't say that the whole thing was a dream. They said it was all very real in the Star Trek universe. So I think that's those are some pretty open-ended questions right there. I mean, they wanted you to talk about these things rather than have any definite, this is God. Imagine, we have movies about God where God looks like a white guy with, a white beard and looks like Santa Claus, but just without the red outfit. And oftentimes, especially for the European type, he has blue eyes, but we just don't know. We don't know. We haven't seen him. You can only guess. Some people think God is black. He's Morgan Freeman, yeah. And I don't know. I mean, the thing is, the sad thing in a way is that, I think, I think, I don't know if it's sad. It's not really sad. It's just, we really are in a state of being right now where this life where a lot of things are not as well known. So that are this kind of thing, talking about things like the divine, astronomy, and I'm going on about this. I'm going to go into something else in a bit, but I'm talking about things again that we think we know about, but we don't. Maybe we spend so much time thinking about something that we think we know something more about it that maybe we don't. But maybe it's it has some kind of impact on our character. We always the struggle to improve, struggle to understand things better. It helps us get more mature. Maybe we do understand things better, but maybe we don't. It's just a type of knowledge that isn't always very easy to explain, or it's not as tangible. I guess, I don't know. Getting to a different subject maybe here a little bit. Sometimes I thought a lot about, what do I want to do right now in life? It seems like sometimes the number of people that I'm close to are getting fewer. In a way, do I want to do something like just go somewhere else and just start a new life? In a way, this is my family, my parents, I know, and but it's just everybody talks on YouTube about different countries, and I find that a lot of videos about different countries are very interesting because, sure, of course, I want to know what life is like in these different countries because I'm thinking about living in them at some point. I don't know. So people say Mexico's poor. People say Saudi Arabia is strict. You have to be Muslim, or you can't date people that are Muslim because their brothers are gonna cut your hands off with a big scimitar or something. You hear this stuff and you're like, okay, so what can I really expect? It's just a whole, it's just helter. It's just this big hodgepodge of different people saying all this stuff. And who can you trust? You trust Rick Steves? Going on vacation to Europe, and I'm not going to say wine because I'm Mormon, but you can enjoy fine grape juice and cheeses. I don't like cheese, so I'll just say you can enjoy. Oh, you can just have the best time of your life, and with not very much money, these nice cafes, get some bread in France. Some people, I know Rick Steves makes his videos the way he does because he wants people to enjoy them and to have a good time going to Europe and other places. But, if I did something like Rick Steves, I might take a different approach a little bit. I'm not saying his approach there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying something's wrong with it. I'm saying it's very safe. It's not Disney, but it's very, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like all the ladies going out to, England and to have a book club over there. The Teen Crumpet going on. It's just like Teen Crumpets. It's just very safe and it's very nice, and that's all fine and good. But I don't think we buy it, right? That a vacation will always be that way, or living someplace will always be that way. I've been told that I romanticize Europe. I make it better in my mind than it might really be, kinder, gentler, all this stuff. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I've always, I heard many really positive things about Europe. Things that made me want to go there when I was little. To find out that it's not always that way, I'm like, oh, well, where's the best place I can live? Everybody does this, right? And, I never, actually, this is a different train of thought. I understand that most people think this way. That you think in terms of expensiveness, of course, like you have to kind of do that. But all these very practical day-to-day things. What's the school like that you live by? Are there parks? Of course you want to have those things. All the things that suburban America, white suburban America thinks about. But, it's just, like, but nobody ever, when if that train of topic conversation, you don't talk about, do you live next to a forest where trolls are said to live? Yes, I know I'm referring to Norway, but you can just easily talk about, I don't know, dragons in Japan or something. The world needs to maintain its wonder for me. Of course, I can understand it better over time, but I don't like it when everything seems like it's just, how do you live in such a way where people don't take advantage of you? Or how do you live in such a way where you can take advantage of the most people? It's a dog-eat-dog world. You might as well eat some dogs and get eaten at the same time. I'm still alive. Hey, No, I don't want to think that way. Who wants to think that way? There's some Wall Street broker that's his entire life is how much money he can get. I mean, come on now. That's a pitiful way of living. At least thinking. No. It's much better to think about, hey, wouldn't it be awesome if I lived in Spain and I built my own boat and I sailed around the entire Mediterranean Sea and came home and I just was like, yeah, that's a bit more to my liking. Let's make it better. I mean, really, you can do North Sea and stuff and Baltic, but let's be honest, even though the blondes and everything are amazingly attractive and everything up in the north, it's freaking cold up there. Of course, you can go up there in the summer. That's what you should do. You should only go up there in the summer, meet people, and then convince them to live in warmer climes, and then eventually, I'm just being silly here, talking about race. I just, some people are so, I'll say sometimes I can be kind of silly too, and ridiculous, but, we're all just a little bit ridiculous about this stuff. Let's just be honest. We all just worry about it too much. We all think about it too much. And if it isn't race, it's like attractiveness of other people, and it's, I don't know. Anyway. No, we do. We just... Oh, the person who doesn't think about the stressful subjects, the person who thinks about only very pleasant subjects all the time, he's a hipster, or he's an Asian. Or, okay, maybe Indian. Okay, hipster, Indian, Asian. One of the three. There's maybe some other folks I'm not thinking of, but that's why we want to be hipsters, or we want to be Asian, or we want to be Indian. Like, oh, I love India. I love India because everybody just seems so peaceful. Oh, I know I'm being silly, but it's, yeah, I mean, like, of course, it's, Indians can be very intense. In fact, I think that's probably more the case more often than being very peaceful. But the whole Buddhist thing, right? Oh, you need to be separate from everything, and you can't have any desires. You can't. Don't just don't even think about women. Men don't think about riches. Don't think about your possessions. All you need to, shoot for is just no attachments to anything, and then you will attain a state of bliss and nirvana. And it'd be so beautiful. I'm sorry for you guys who believe that stuff. That's all fine and good, and I should make fun of it. I should not make fun of it. I'm only making fun of the hippies that kind of act weird about that stuff. Some. But no, it's very real, very awesome religion to think that way. Buddhism, right? This is Buddhism. Right? It's pretty cool. It's just here's my thing about that though. It's just, what really happens to you? Does your soul really enter a different state of being while you're in this world in nirvana? I'm not trying to be confrontational here. I'm not trying to belittle Buddhism, but this is a real belief. It's like, well, I don't know, when we have blessings for the sick, my church, and we use consecrated oil, is that consecrated oil really something that's going to affect that person spiritually? I don't know. It's one of those things where, so with nirvana, how do you know when you've reached a state of enlightenment? And we have these open-ended answers from the Dalai Lama and stuff. Like, I have no idea. I have literally no idea. How does one know when one is a professional musician? Again, it's just can mean a lot of different things to different people. Or the term advanced or intermediate or beginner. A beginner is pretty easy to, a little bit easier to specify, but detachment from everything. But what does that mean? That we need to have relationships. I think having relationships is a good thing, but no, we need to be detached. We need to be able to sacrifice everything and anything. We need to just have nothing. Or if we have nothing, we have everything. And I've heard these thoughts before, and again, I should make fun of them. I actually find them very interesting, but in a way. But it's true that when you have your heart set on material things, it can kind of prevent you from going farther in spiritual things. But there's all kinds of things that Buddhism believes in that I'm not even talking about right now. So it's just, I mean, I'm going to say this again. How much do we really know about things? When someone's going through a tough time, and they keep going through a tough time for years and years and years, how do we know what can help them? Or how do we know what's really bothering them? And we do our best, right? Why is it the case that God, I have to wrap this up here in a second because it's going on another half hour. Why is it the case that God doesn't give us a big instruction book? If he wants everything to be hunky-dory eventually, why wouldn't he help us out some more? And so that's one of the arguments of the agnostic and the atheist. And I wish we had a real book too. It's the scriptures, it's the Bible. That's our guide, right? But then everybody disagrees with it and says, I'm gonna make another video here if you guys want a part 3. Catch you guys later. Bye.